I said, there's some local fast food. Mama, me again. Let's all yell. Me quite remember who hear me. Meant me and sent my friend doctor when I'm crossing over.
Right, good evening and welcome to your most authoritative evening political show, Hot News. We are live on Pan-African Television, live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. 48 African countries. You can join in the conversation by sending in your views, comments, and contributions on a WhatsApp stroke text line. I'll be reading those messages out for you. Those of you watching us on Facebook can share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. Don't forget to leave your suggestions, questions, contributions, and all of that on our socials, and I'll be reading those messages out for you tonight. On Hot News, the OSP has been petitioned to probe Registrar of Scholarship Secretariat over alleged corruption. Now, the Deputy National Youth Organizer of the Opposition National Democratic Congress, Usman Ayariga, is urging the Office of the Special Prosecutor to launch an investigation into Dr. Kingsley Agyeman following the recent scandal involving the allocation of scholarships by the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. Mr. Ayariga's petition stems from what he describes as a concerning pattern of misconduct exhibited by the Scholarship Secretariat under the current leadership. He is urging the OSP to conduct a comprehensive inquiry into the activities of the registrar and other staff members of the Secretariat regarding the scholarship allocation process as exposed by the Fourth Estate. Now, in fact, Mr. Ayariga's decision is in response to the scandalous investigative piece by the Fourth Estate regarding the arbitrary and biased awarding of scholarships by the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. The minority in Parliament is also demanding the immediate suspension of Dr. Kingsley Agyeman, who happens to be the administrator of the Scholarship Secretariat, or the Secretary of the Scholarship Secretariat. Now, after that expose by the Fourth Estate, a colleague media house, of course, a sister media house, let me use that word instead. Joy News has, done a report that I would want to bring to the fore of the good people of Ghana. Now, let's watch that particular video. We'll be right back. Right, so that was a report by a sister media house, Joy News, of course. You've seen it over there, and the source of that particular report is the Fourth Estate. After the expose, you've seen the number of people these scholarships have been given to. These people are not deserving. In fact, these people are, persons who have affiliations with some of these politicians and all of that, whose parents could pay for their fees. So the scholarship has been given to these people at the expense of the poor, of the needy, the person who really needs. We'll be asking some relevant questions on this particular matter, but I would want to bring the petition, if you can display the petition on the screens. It says the Special Prosecutor Office of the Special Prosecutor OSP Accra, Ghana, and it's dated 9th April 2024. It says DSA, report of suspected corruption and corruption-related offences in the award of scholarships by the Registrar of Ghana's Scholarship Secretariat, Kingsley Opon Ajiman. I, Usman Abdullahi Ayariga, a former president of the National Union of Ghana Students, NUGS, and the incumbent Deputy National Youth Organizer of the Opposition National Democratic Congress, wish to invoke the jurisdiction under Section 2A, 31G, and 79 of the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959, to investigate all cases of suspected corruption and corruption-related offences unearthed by the recent investigative work of the Fourth Estate in relation to the award of scholarships by the Scholarship Secretariat. It has become necessary to petition your office due to the despicable magnitude of abuse the Scholarship Secretariat under the current leadership has exhibited. Therefore, by this petition, calling for a full-scale investigation into the activities of the registrar and associated staff of the Secretariat regarding the award of scholarships. The investigative report into the operations of the Secretariat, coupled with audio recordings from Joy FM, revealed the following. 1. Many instances where staff at the Secretariat demand prior payments of commission from students seeking scholarships before such approvals are given. Some beneficiaries who spoke out publicly indicated they were made to undertake a transfer of a percentage of the approved scholarship amount to compensate for securing the scholarships. 2. The investigation discovered instances where people received double sponsorship for the same course of study from the Secretariat and other institutions. One such person is Dr. Dennis Addo, who received in total of $60,000 and $31,000 for postgraduate studies from the Secretariat, and also an undisclosed amount from the institution of study. Further details can be found in the investigative report of the Fourth Estate. 3. There are instances where those who secured scholarships never undertook the course but failed to refund the disbursed amount to the Secretariat. A notable example is in the person of Fauzi Ramadan, a relative and special assistant to the Second Lady of Ghana, Mrs. Samira Baumia. And number 4, there are also numerous instances where the already privileged in society, such as Lucy Eke Leba, daughter of Freddie Blay, continue to have access to the scholarships while the truly needy struggle to fund their education. I wish to state that these matters ought to be investigated as a matter of urgency to forestall any future misappropriation of our resources. I hereby request that the registrar be subjected to investigations and be made to step aside pending the outcome of the investigations to prevent interference with the investigative process. I am counting on your ability to carry out a thorough investigation into the grounds stated above and accordingly inform the Ghanaian people of the outcome of the investigations. Yours truly, signed, Osman A. Ayariga. And then his number has been provided over there. I have the man in question in the studio. He is a private legal and also also the Deputy National Youth Organizer of the Opposition National Democratic Congress, Osman Ayariga. Thank you so much for joining us tonight in the studio, my brother.
Good evening to you. And is it in place to say Happy Easter or belated Easter?
Probably belated Easter, because we are done celebrating the Easter.
Okay, so happy belated Easter.
Thank you so much. It was for a reason that I have you alone in the studio tonight. This is because you have petitioned the Office of the Special Prosecutor to take up, a matter on corruption and corruption-related offences at the Scholarship Secretariat. This is because the Fourth Estate, conducted an investigation into how scholarships are distributed to the good people of Ghana, unearthed, some, happenings over there that you think, those happenings call for investigations. Why do you think that giving scholarships to the good people of Ghana who are deserving, who are also Ghanaians, who are entitled to these scholarships, should be investigated?
Good evening to you, Justice. Good evening to your cherished viewers.
Right.
Good evening to those who may be listening also. We stand for justice, and we equally stand for equity. We believe that the son of a cocoa farmer who doesn't even know Accra should be in a position to enjoy scholarship.
Okay.
Because it is the toil and sweat of cocoa farmers that is used to fund the scholarships. I believe that the son of a charcoal seller in Boga should be able to enjoy scholarship. I believe that the son of a petty trader in Boko should be able to enjoy these scholarships once the person is knowledgeable, intelligent, and needy. If you look at the structure or the reason behind the establishment of the Scholarship Secretariat, the key ingredient in there had to do with brilliant and needy students. When you also look at the Get Fund Act, of which funds a percentage of the Scholarship Secretariat, it also highlights that it has to take care of brilliant and needy. So of course, brilliance is subjective, needy is also subjective.
Right.
But the reasonable man knows that Ken Oforiatta is not needy.
Right.
The reasonable man knows that Dr. Adu, who owns a hospital,
right,
and is a businessman who is doing well in all aspects of life, is not needy.
Okay.
Everyone knows that the daughter of Freddie Blay, who bought 275 buses for the NPP, can never fall under the category of needy. So that is even one leg of the issue. Now, the next issue has to do with the fact that if you, Justice...
No, is the purpose for the scholarship, meant for the needy or meant for the good people of Ghana?
No, the scholarship is meant for the good people of Ghana who are needy.
Who are needy?
Yes, who are needy.
All right.
And cannot pay.
So you think that persons who have been given the scholarship in recent times are not needy and they don't deserve...
I've mentioned names,
okay.
And per our own standards, they cannot fall within the category of needy.
Okay.
Then there's also the second administrative dynamic that actually leads to the award of these contracts. These scholarships.
Right.
It has to do with you going out there to pursue a program or a course that ordinarily is not being studied within Ghana. And these were some of the parameters or some of the regulations we set up under the NDC administration, that don't go out there and study a course such as maybe business administration and expect government to pay your scholarship.
Okay.
Because you study business administration in Legon, in KNUST, in UDS, everywhere. So if you are going out there to study a course, it should be a course that is not being studied here. And when you return, you are going to be of value to society. That is how the scholarship secretariat was structured. The second leg has to do with the facts, and which is even more incriminating and even very dangerous. And that is why it is the first point of our petition. The fact that students have willingly come out to disclose that they were extorted percentages of the amount of money that was paid in the form of scholarship to them. So there's one case where
how sure are they
there was one case
where
where
persons who took these monies from them are people from the scholarship secretariat and not, you know, people who might have been perpetrating fraudulent activities out there in the name of the scholarship secretariat.
That is why we are calling for the investigation, so that it will unearth every single puzzle, so that if the registrar of the scholarship secretariat clearly is oblivious of everything, he will walk free, he will be vindicated. That is what it is. But to the extent that currently he's a registrar and there are all manner of fraudulent, corrupt activities, he is the head and he takes ultimate responsibility. Not me, not you. He is in charge and he has to take ultimate responsibility. Then it means that vicariously he is liable for all their actions and inactions. Because if I am forced to pay 10%, if I apply for a scholarship and I'm told that if you don't pay 10%, you will not get a scholarship, and I pay 10% and I get my scholarship, meaning that it works and it's happening. And that is exactly what they were saying. There are two legs even to those practices. Where students pay a percentage of what is expected to be paid as school fees, then in return they get the scholarship. And the second leg has to do with the fact that someone doesn't even get admission at all, but the scholarship secretariat takes 30,000 Ghana cedis just to write an introductory letter to the embassy that he's going out there to pursue a course. The embassy gives him a visa and he leaves, as they call it, he will japa.
But how is that possible? Because I know that one of the requirements or the major requirements of anybody getting a scholarship, or, you know, being given a scholarship from the scholarship secretariat, is by getting admission letter. So if you don't get admission from a foreign school, how do you then apply for a scholarship? How are you able to prove, you know, your admission with a foreign school in order for, you know,
it may not just be
for the embassy to be able to give
it
you
may
all that.
not just be for the purposes of admission, but it could be an introductory letter for whatever purpose. It could be an introductory letter that you are going for a training. It could be an introductory letter that you are going for an exchange program, which may not necessarily be admissions. It could be an introductory letter that they are actually taking you out there for you to go and acquire knowledge and come back. So it's not just about admission to pursue courses. That's why I said that in some instances you may not even acquire admission or to do a course, but the scholarship secretariat writes an introductory letter introducing you to the embassy. People go out there, they get their visas and they leave. So the scholarship secretariat in itself has now gone beyond its mandate as scholarship secretariat. It's now a visa racketeering secretariat. And that is what we are calling for. And that is even a more incriminating accusation or allegation, especially on the scholarship secretariat and its registrar. And we are saying that based on these pieces of evidences, I mean, confessions in itself is an evidence. The work by the Fourth Estate in itself are pieces of evidence. We petitioned the Office of the Special Prosecutor that based on these pieces of evidence, we think you should have a full-blown investigation, because you possess the security architecture endowed enough to be able to embark on this kind of investigations that will inure to the benefit of the citizens. So that is why we have petitioned the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
But
the next issue,
there's something that I don't really get. You're saying that the scholarship secretariat is racketeering visa for persons who would want to travel outside the country. Now, my question is, how is the scholarship secretariat able to write an introductory letter to an embassy for somebody who is going for a training. I mean, how is that possible? Somebody who is going for a training doesn't fall within or under the jurisdiction of the scholarship secretariat, where they could easily write an introductory letter to an embassy for the person to be given, you know, a visa. It is quite, you know, I really don't get that part.
Yes, so
when somebody is going for a training, you don't need the scholarship secretariat to give that person.
No, but scholarship secretariat can pay for you to go for a training. Scholarship is not just about I'm going for a 2-year admission course, maybe in University of London, or I'm going for a 3-year course. We have short courses, we have training, we have workshops, and the scholarship secretariat can write an introductory letter.
Right.
And that is why we are calling for all of those investigations, so that once it's on earth, we all can understand the operations. Because as it stands now, it's bits and pieces of evidence that we need to put together to be able to ascertain which direction the special prosecutor to even go so far as his charge sheet is concerned. And that is why we are saying that it is in the interest of the scholarship secretariat for the office of the special prosecutor to investigate all these allegations and inferences that are being made based on the allegations. Then we all can leave the matter to rest, or we all can know which direction the special prosecutor is, whether he's going into a charge sheet or he's going into just leaving the matter. The next issue,
look at the point 2.
Yes, I'm coming to that. The next issue,
because I have some few questions to ask you.
Yes, the next issue has to do with the issue of dual payment.
Okay.
Or double payment.
If you say double payment,
yes, I'm coming. Yeah, I'm coming to that. Yes, and it's there. It's there. Yes, I'll explain it to you. So there's an instance where maybe you, you Justice, you apply to University of Ghana.
Okay.
For a 1-year course, which costs maybe 50,000 cedis. Scholarship Secretariat tells you, okay, we'll pay your 50,000 cedis. Your check is handed over to you. Now you also apply for a scholarship from the University of Ghana itself. University of Ghana also gives you a scholarship ranging between 40 and 50,000 cedis. Alongside, they give you stipend, because all this scholarship is not just the school fees, it's the school fees plus the stipends. So your living allowances, expenses, everything is being paid for. So what it means is that Scholarship Secretariat has paid for your fees and is paying for your living allowances. Alongside, the school you attend, University of Ghana, has also paid for your fees and is also giving you your living allowances. So when such a situation happens, you, the Scholarship Secretariat, you can write to the school to reverse whatever payment has been done, because the school itself has given a scholarship to the person. And if that person has been given stipends, it is right for you to write for the person to reimburse whatever monies has been given to him, unless of course you want the person to enjoy from both sides.
Now, but what I know is that most of these schools don't give full scholarship. They give half or quarter scholarship.
Even if they give a 10% scholarship.
Have you investigated to know
so in that case,
about are enjoying full scholarship? In that case,
if you also read the investigative piece that came from the Fourth Estate, the school fees paid from the Scholarship Secretariat Ghana was $50,031.
Okay.
Now, the scholarship scheme which this same gentleman applied for, the minimum they give is $40,000,
okay,
and the maximum they give is $50,000. So meaning that he enjoyed the scholarship either the lowest, which is $40,000, or the highest, which is $50,000.
Right.
Be as it may, let's even take the lowest, which is $40,000. Did the Scholarship Secretariat take any measures to have their 40,000 reimbursed? No. So where did that $40,000 go? Did the gentleman in place apply for that $40,000 to be reimbursed to him as an individual? That we do not know. Is it that the school has been asked to take the money free of charge? That we need answers. So it means that we have so much money as a country, we can even dash some to universities. We cannot be that reckless and allow resources, very scarce resources, to just go off the drain. There is so much negligence. There is so much misappropriation of funds. And that is why we put it there, that it needs to be investigated. Because when the Fourth Estate said that, they wrote to the said gentleman to ask him how much he was paid and what measures were being taken in place to withdraw the money or reimburse the money. He didn't whatsoever even want to cooperate. So whatever evidence they have is what they have provided. That is why we are calling on the special prosecutor to investigate these matters. As simple as that. The next issue has to do with an instance where someone is given a scholarship. Person gains admission. The person doesn't go to the school. The person stays in Ghana and says he's doing it online. After a while, he abandons the entire process. Such persons, for wasting public resources, the scholarship secretariat should have taken measures to even retrieve all those monies from such persons. So
how do you retrieve such monies from persons who have benefited from the scholarship? For one or two reasons, they are unable to continue the course.
Justice,
are you being fair to the scholarship secretariat on
Justice, this is a relative and special assistant to the second lady.
Okay.
They haven't come out with any evidence to tell us why the person didn't go to the school. That's one. They haven't come out to tell us why the person decided to abandon the course. That's two. And they haven't.
What I know is that if you are on a scholarship, or if you are on a government scholarship, and for some reasons you would want to defer your course or you cannot continue the course anymore, you write to the scholarship secretariat or get fund, whichever one that you're on, to alert or let them know that for A, B, C, and D reasons, I'm unable to continue the course. I would want to defer. So they know. It's on their record. Did the investigators, probe to know whether or not this person you are talking about wrote to the scholarship secretariat indicating her reasons for not continuing the course?
Anyway, it's a he. Now,
he, okay,
yes,
sorry.
he, yes.
Okay.
So what happens is that when you gain admission to a school,
right,
and you also apply for the scholarship, if for one reason or the other you want to defer, you write to the school that you want to defer for whatever reason. And if it is a master's program and you're doing a 1-year master's program, I think you're given the opportunity to defer just once for 1 year because they also need space for people to obtain admission.
Right.
By that time that you'll be applying to the institution to defer, scholarship secretariat would have already paid your admission, because in most cases they mostly ask to defer when they are done payment, because in this case he had already paid the admissions. Sometimes you can defer even before payment. Sometimes even for financial reasons you're unable to pay the fees, you can apply to defer the course for 1 year. In this instant case, the scholarship was paid. The money was paid into the school's account. The person was in Ghana still receiving stipends. And even when he decided not to continue the school, he was still receiving stipends.
Okay.
So if not for anything at all, even if, be as it may, you think that it was so difficult to retrieve or get all the monetary reimbursed from the school, and we all know how institutions work. At a point, once you pay the school fees, if you even want to discontinue, there's a process to stop and retrieve your school fees. Just that you may not get everything. You may get a certain percentage of the school fees. Most institutions, you can get a percentage of the school fees.
That will yes,
that's what I'm saying, that it's not all cases where you will not have the fees refunded to you. In certain instances, you may have a percentage of it refunded to you. So the question is that the scholarship secretary take any measures to have these monies refunded to the state coffers. You and I, our taxpayers' money. Was there any measures taken in place to refund it? That is the question that needs to be answered. The second question is that whatever stipends were given to the gentleman, was he in a position to have been taking those monies whilst in Ghana? And why didn't scholarship secretary go after the said gentleman to retrieve, if not for anything at all, the living expenses or stipends he was receiving? Then they take measures to retrieve whatever was being paid to the school. Because you see, if you do not put in strict measures for people to know that you cannot just come for our scholarship and be wandering about in Ghana or decide not to go to school depending on how you feel, then anybody who is connected to the second lady or the first lady can just use their powers, come and take the scholarship and not feel like going to school. And at the end of the day, that will be monies of taxpayers, you and I, going down the drain. We are already in a system of very scarce resources. It is not time for us to continue to waste the already limited resources we have as a country. The next issue has to do with instance of people who do not fall under the brackets of needy or struggling students.
Okay.
You cannot explain to me how the CEO of a state agency is needy.
Okay.
And she was even given the opportunity to go study 2 different masters in the UK. How needy can you be that you expect that you go to the UK for 2 different masters, 2 different years? This is not a needy person. This is absolute greed.
Are you not making a political capital out of this whole issue? Because especially the 4th and the last point in your petition is something we have witnessed under the erstwhile John Dramani Mahama administration. It was in this country that persons like Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, Adwoa Safo and the likes were given scholarship under your watch to go and study outside the country. They went to one of the most expensive universities in the world, spent huge amounts of money on them. This is something we've witnessed over and over and over again. What's the facts about it?
What is bad yesterday is bad today and is bad tomorrow.
Are you saying that if the National Democratic Congress comes to power again, we won't see similar
we won't
things
make
happening?
such we won't do such we won't have such actions happen?
But you have done it before. We've seen it.
No, you see, there's
You are
a
not,
difference.
You are
No,
not saints.
no.
You cannot.
There's
you don't extricate yourselves from these particular happenings, especially point 4 of your petition.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, that these things are not going to happen under the next NDC administration. And I can tell you in all authority that we have resolved that no politically exposed persons whatsoever should be given scholarships to go and study under the government scholarship secretary. No. A politically exposed person, be you a CEO, be you a minister, be you a member of parliament, you should be able to go out there and pay your own fees and develop yourself. Because these scholarships are meant for brilliant and needy students. I do not see how a CEO can be needy. I do not see how a minister of state can be needy.
Under your watch, did you see how somebody like Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, who was at the time and now still a member of parliament, how he was a needy? Did you see how Honorable Sarah Adwoa Safo, member of parliament for Dom Kwabenya, who also benefited from a similar, scholarship?
I have spoken against politically exposed persons enjoying from government scholarship, and my stance remains the same. I have spoken against it when the issue of Matthew Opoku Prempeh.
So clearly, on the basis of point 4 of your
obviously,
petition,
I'll speak against it. I'm not making political
this.
capital out of it. When the news broke out, I spoke against it. So the more reason why I must speak against it now, because a mistake or an issue that happened in the previous year that we spoke about against, and you are repeating the same thing, so mean that you've decided not to learn. We spoke against it. We said no, it's about time we stop letting politically exposed persons enjoy from this. And that was what actually brought up the conversation. And we all took a position that we think that politically exposed persons, at the time, we didn't believe that politically exposed persons shouldn't enjoy the scholarship, because they were all Ghanaians. At the time, members of parliament actually proposed that most of them needed to go out there and develop themselves because of the kind of work they were doing as parliamentarians. So most of the courses they were doing had to do with public administration, had to do with governance, had to do with leadership courses, because they were parliamentarians. But we realized that it's about time we reduce the rate at which politically exposed persons abuse or enjoy these scholarships that are meant for brilliant but needy. So if you're a politically exposed person,
does that find expression in law that politically exposed persons should not benefit from government scholarships?
It doesn't find its place in law.
Okay.
But it can find its place so far as the administration is concerned. And that is why I told you that if you look at the act that establishes the GET fund, it talks about brilliant, needy. And if you look at the scholarship secretariat, it gets its funding from the GET fund. So once it gets funding from the GET fund, I mean that the same rules that, because the scholarship secretariat itself, because it's under the presidency, it doesn't have an act. You get where the problem is coming from. It doesn't have an act that controls its modus operandi. So it is based on the discretionary powers. You understand? And the fact that you are given the authority to exhibit or express discretion doesn't mean that it should be done capriciously. Of course, you should be able to understand who a needy student is. A needy student is someone who cannot pay. But you cannot come and tell me someone who earns a salary way above the fees he's coming to ask for is needy. He cannot be needy. And that was why we came out with a statement that politically exposed persons shouldn't be enjoying these scholarships that are meant for brilliant, needy.
Let me ask you a question. Are these persons we are talking about Ghanaians or not?
Yes, they are Ghanaians.
If Ghanaians are benefiting from what is supposed to be the taxes of the good people of Ghana, why should that be a problem? Simply because their parents can afford to pay. We have the free senior high school policy, where some parents, majority of parents are able to pay for their works. But the country says, we want everyone to benefit. We don't want any parent to pay school fees. And so everybody should benefit. If we do same for, scholarships in the country, what's wrong with it?
That's because with the issue of the free senior high school, there was no caveat for whether you could pay or you couldn't pay. And you realize at the end of the day, the finance minister himself came trying to lobby or beg parents who could pay to try and pay. But so far as the scholarship secretariat is concerned, it talks about the fact that, and the GET Fund Act is concerned, it talks about the fact that these offices are established for the purposes of brilliant and needy.
Let's not pretend as if we don't know that the affluent are rather the people who benefit from some of these scholarships.
And that is what we are speaking against.
Why are you speaking against it today?
Because today we have over 300 people who have benefited from it who are not needy. That is what we are talking about.
Yesterday, when it was under your watch, we never saw these petitions and all of that. People equally benefited. Affluent people benefit.
Well, I do not know of affluent children or children of affluent people. We only spoke about the politically exposed. Okay. They are two different things.
They are not two different.
No, they are two different. No, they are
pay for even their work, but they benefited.
So we spoke about the politically exposed, which we are against, which we all agree in principle.
Right.
We are against. Then we talk about kids of affluent people that we all disagree that should not benefit from it. The fact that a petition didn't go yesterday doesn't mean a petition shouldn't go today. So the fact that something happened yesterday, which was bad, so if it happens today, we should all be quiet? No, I strongly disagree with you.
Because you do not have the moral right to petition the office of the special prosecutor to investigate some of these issues. When you never petitioned petitioned a similar office to investigate what happened under your watch.
Now, I'll give you all the instances. Under our watch, people were not paying percentages to go to school.
Okay.
So you think I shouldn't petition this matter? Number one, people were not paying percentages. People were not bribing their way out. Number two, people were not being paid when the institution is paying their fees to. That's the second thing. Number three, people didn't receive scholarship while sitting at home. Number four, I'm yet to see the so-called affluent of children of affluent people you are talking about, that you think that they shouldn't have enjoyed. I have mentioned names to you. Unless maybe you want to mention names. Unless maybe you want to mention names.
Are you saying on authority that under the erstwhile John Dramani Mahama administration, no child of an affluent person benefited from this.
I don't know unless you want to mention names to me. I do not know. I do not know unless you want to mention names to me.
Let me take few of our messages. I'll come back for the discussion to continue. This one says, hi, good evening to you and to your gentleman. Please, Justice, I have no idea about scholarships, but my worries is about Mia, who want to become president of Ghana. Ghanaians should not make a mistake to vote for him come 2024, or else Ghana will burn into ashes. I'm Joseph, watching you from Libya. He's watching us in Libya. Thank you so much, Joseph, for your message. This one says, Justice, this MPP government under President Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has bastardized all the institutions with corruption and square pegs in round holes. Stephen and Kwabenya sent in that particular one. This one says, I'm Kenneth, a final year student at CAF University College. In fact, the new patriotic party government is very wicked. They don't think about the ordinary Ghanaian, but only the party folks. Thanks to Honorable Usman for taking this bold decision. He should fight for us, and we are solidly behind him. Thank you so much for that message. Keep your messages coming in, both on WhatsApp and then via text, and I'll be reading those messages out. I can see only text messages. The WhatsApp is working, so why text messages only? So via text and WhatsApp, and I'll be reading those messages out for you. This one says, a beneficiary of government scholarship who for any reason is not able to honor the offer must refund or pay back the money given to him or her. Is that the law? Is that what the act that establishes, the secretariat is saying? Well, this one says, please, good evening. Kudos to lawyer Osman Ayariga, Deputy National Youth Organizer of the great NDC, for the bold step or action taken against the unprecedented corrupt government, which is very intensive to the poor. Youth power action now. Wisdom Penny, Deputy Youth Organizer, Awin constituency, sent in that particular message. This one says,
I will win.
I will win.
It's in the Western North region.
Okay, so that's the Western North region.
Yeah.
So, keep your messages coming in on WhatsApp. Please display the WhatsApp line, because a lot of people are now sending in their messages. I think that initially you made it text messages only, so I could see the text messages. But now the WhatsApp message. So you do it text messages stroke WhatsApp, so that they know that number over there is also for WhatsApp. This one says, I am Al Hassan Shingu Fauzia from Tamale. My own friend, who is married to an MPP man, was sponsored through a degree in UDS, but when I showed interest in the sponsorship, I was asked to provide my MPP party card before, but I was denied because I'm NDC. Her fees was paid for 3 good years, including study leave, but I had to be working shifts just to attend lectures with so much frustrations. This is very unfair with so much discrimination. All right, thank you so much for your message. This one says, that was wrong yesterday. It's still wrong today. What was wrong yesterday is still wrong today. Are you saying that we should not talk about the wrong things happening at the scholarship secretariat just because NDC did just because NDC also did same, then we will not move forward. Drop from Adenta sent in that one. I understand your point anyway. However, I'll hold my peace over. And now let me come to you, Usman, on your petition once again. Let me ask you. You are a lawyer. What is the element of fraud in your petition or the investigative piece emanating from the Cortes of the fourth estate?
Well,
what are the elements?
We haven't spoken about fraud. We have spoken
corruption. Sorry,
yes.
elements of corruption.
Yes.
Corruption and corruption related. Because now
yes.
what you are doing is that you are
yes.
invoking sections 2A, 31G, and 79
yes.
of the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act, 2017 Act 959, to investigate all cases of suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses. So what you are trying to say is that by the investigative piece of fourth estate, there might be some corruption and corruption-related offenses committed by the committed by the scholarship secretariat. Question is, what elements of corruption and corruption-related offenses have you seen in that investigative piece that led you to petition the special
prosecutor? First and foremost, it is not in the place of the petitioner to point out to the appropriate office that these are the elements of fraud, this is the element of corruption, this is the element of stealing. Reasonable suspicion of any corrupt act happening is enough to petition.
Your suspicion is that because
I'm coming. Okay. If you allow me, I'm making a point.
Can go ahead.
If you allow me, I'm making my point. Yes. Reasonable suspicion is enough to petition the appropriate officers. Now, the instance of people paying monies to gain a scholarship or paying percentages in itself is enough for you to suspect corruption and corrupt-related activities.
Okay.
That is one. The instance of people who are given scholarships and later gain scholarships in other institutions and it's not refunded is enough for you to suspect corruption. Because there's a possibility that there's an arrangement between two people. I give you the money, you have another scholarship, and when we get the money back, we share it amongst ourselves. That's it. It's enough for you to suspect corruption. Are you following? Now, the instance of someone equally taking the money and not going to the school, there's a possibility of corruption, because where money is involved, there's a possibility of corruption where two people have agreed or there's consensus at them for them to share the booty or the proceeds of their booty. Now, in the case of even the instances of privileged people in society who have been given the scholarship, then it can still bring you back to the first issue where there's a real likelihood of people who have paid bribes to be given scholarships. So all of these, the combined effects of the pieces of evidences that has been put together gives you enough room to be suspicious of corruption and corrupt-related activities. And it is on the back of that that we petition the special prosecutor. If you are waiting for a petitioner to have his entire evidence to prove a case beyond reasonable doubt, it is not in the place of the petitioner to prove a case beyond reasonable doubt. No. It is the case of the states to establish whether they have a case in the first place and whether they can actually prove their case beyond reasonable doubt. It is only in the place of the petitioner to alert the states that maybe there's corruption ongoing here that you have not averted your mind to, or you have heard it and you are quiet. So I am averting your mind to it that go here and investigate. Based on what we are hearing and what we are seeing, but we are suspicious.
You are invoking certain sections.
Yes, so that is it. Yes, because you see, the special prosecutor,
you must be sure that indeed.
Listen,
your suspicions are right.
No. You are getting the two wrong. You are getting we invoking the powers of the special prosecutor wrongly. You are getting it wrong. Okay. Now, why do I say I get it wrongly?
Educate the good.
You know, the special prosecutor. Yes, the special prosecutor cannot go and investigate every matter. So the special prosecutor cannot investigate murder. He cannot investigate, I think, stealing. He cannot investigate maybe battery. etc. You understand?
Right.
So when we say we are invoking the jurisdiction of the special prosecutor, if you have read 2A and 3.1G, that gives us the ability, or that gives us the ability to be able to petition as individuals.
Okay.
And when you go to 79, that is the interpretation part of the act, which now explains or gives what are the ingredients of the corruption and corruption-related acts.
Okay.
And if you go to corruption and corruption-related crimes, it talks about bribery, it talks about extortion, it talks about unlawful receiving, unlawful give, etc. You understand? So that is why this has come up. So I'm not quoting the crime for the special prosecutor. I'm only telling the special prosecutor that I am coming because your own act 2A says that someone can come. And 3.1G also says that based on suspicion, I can come.
Okay.
So I'm coming based on the fact that your own act says that as an individual, I can report to you based on reasonable suspicion or knowledge of a crime that has been committed. So there's the knowledge of the crime, there's the suspicion, and there's even the part that says that you believe that the crime may have been committed. So they may even gives you enough room to know that even if I don't have evidence and I think that a crime may have committed, I can still petition the special prosecutor. You understand?
Very well.
Then you go to 79, which talks about, which is the interpretation, which talks about what the corruption and corruption-related offenses are. So it refers you to Act 29. Sorry, the Criminals Procedure, the Criminal Offences Act. Then it lists all what it meant by corruption and corruption. So it even talks about infractions of the Public Procurement Act. It talks about extortion.
Right.
So that is how. So it's not as if I'm telling the special prosecutor that go and charge this person for stealing or charge this person for extortion. No, I'm only telling that based on your own act. Yes, based on your own act, and your mandate says that you can only investigate corruption and corruption-related offenses. So go and do your work. So yours is see. And based on what I have seen, I believe that you have a mandate there. Because from what I see, I can suspect extortion here. I can suspect bribery here. I can suspect misappropriation of public funds. That is why I have come on this leg.
Would you be surprised if, after investigating the Scholarship Secretariat, the OSP, says that they've not found anything implicated?
I don't want to preempt the outcome of the investigations of the OSP. I do not want to preempt the outcome. I don't want to guess the outcome. I just hope the OSP will do a diligent and meticulous job. If the OSP says that he has found some people culpable, that'll be fair enough. Because the OSP is not just to prosecute, it's also his act also says that he's supposed to prosecute and try and retrieve.
Okay.
So we should also be interested in him retrieving monies that have been lost in one way or the other.
Okay.
And the second issue is for him to also prosecute. So I am not against scholarships in general. Let's put it out there. I'm not against students who are needy and brilliant receiving scholarships. But I'm just against the way and manner people have to buy, people are being extorted, people have to take monies, etc. going on that are criminal.
Right.
So this is what has led to us petitioning the special prosecutor.
We have some few messages here. Let me deal with those messages for us to wrap up. This one says, may God prevent us from a bad leader like Mahama. All right, thank you so much for your message. This one says, please zoom out Usman Ariga's number on the petition again. I need to contact him urgently. From Yao in Koforidua. Please zoom out Usman Ariga's number on the petition again. I need to contact him urgently. From Yao in Koforidua. Yao. Okay, so I'll be sending the number to you. I don't know what you want to talk
Yeah,
to
you can send it to him. Maybe he has information
obviously.
or intel.
So I'll send the number to you. This one says, hello, bro. Good evening to you all. Please, my problem is instability of your TV station and TV XYZ for months now. Watching the station is becoming boring most of the times. Can we improve upon the connections from base? Because I retained it and my TV stations I repositioned my antenna several times, but to no avail. Ifo Kofi Kotoka in Ashaiman. Okay, you are having challenges, getting Pan-African TV and TV XYZ. So I would let the technical team know so that something could be done about it if it's coming from our end. Hello, good evening, Sir Justice. Thanks for the good work you are doing for Mother Ghana. The people of Northeast region love you so much. Yakubu inside Naleregu. My people in Naleregu, good evening. Honorable Alhaji Baba Seidu Isifu, Member of Parliament for Naleregu Gambaga. Good evening to you this evening. I greet you. This one says, good evening, Justice. Please ask Usman for me. When NDC comes back, can't they still take Napo and Co to the court to collect our monies for us? Nana Frimpong sent in that particular one. Well, I don't know whether they have the political will to do that.
But how are you going to ask for a refund? Because you didn't give the money to give the money to the school. So I'm going to call the school and say that give us our money, even though the person has graduated and we made a mistake by paying the fees. No,
this one says this scholarship bonanza reveals how insensitive, selfish, and wicked the current Nana and Bawumia government is. Awarding scholarships to high-profile persons, as captured in the report, is needless and unfortunate. Scholarship schemes are meant for the brilliant but needy. Sadly, this current government has abused these scholarships as they have done in the area of employment. This is so sad for our country. Regards to lawyer James Agaga, MP for Bilsa North constituency. Daniel Akpaliok from Sandema sent in that one. This one says, good evening, Mr. Justice, and to your guest over there. MPP is a party that was born with corrupt, and nothing positive will ever come from such a corrupt party. Ghanaians are going to show them the exit door come December. JM is the one who will rescue the country from the mess caused by this current MPP government. From Jabosco inside Yeji. Thank you so much for your message. Let me take two more and then wrap up. Honorable Usman Ayaga is a top-notch man. He is fighting for the needy people in the country, and may God be with him. Bawumia should go and sleep because Ghanaians are tired of the lies. Mahama all the way. Kenneth Calf University sent in that one. And finally, good evening, please. MPP can never win 2024 election. Please, we are pleading with John Mahama to prosecute the corrupt MPP politicians. These party and their leaders transfer people without giving them their transfer grant. I cannot take your messages anymore. My time is almost up. Usman, your final words on this matter.
Yes, I want to thank the youth.
I've seen you as a savior. They've seen you as someone who's fighting for the needy.
I want to thank the good people of this country. I want to thank the youth of this country. All those who march with me to the office of the special prosecutor to present our petition against the wanton arbitrary distribution of scholarship that is meant for brilliant and needy students. Scholarships that are being distributed like tomatoes to the families of affluent people. Scholarships that are being bought at percentages of the sum of money that is being paid in the form of the scholarship to the schools. That we are ready to fight whatever actions that this government is taking that is against the forward movement and progress of this country. I want to thank all the youth that marched with me today to go and present the petition. And we shall not relent. Our fight remains forward, and we shall continue to fight for the peace and sanctity and the moral fiber of this country. In the coming days, we shall observe the actions of the special prosecutor and the president himself, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. If it means we being on the streets, we shall not delay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, my brother. I'm so grateful for your time. This is our time, our last on the program. Make a time with us. Same time tomorrow. My name is Justice Appiah, and the show has been Hot News. Goodbye.
say there's some local fast food.
Truly African.
Islam and Christianity is the fact that we believe as Christians that Jesus Christ died and resurrected. I mean, this is